Hello, welcome to my presentation on comparing cellular respiration versus photosynthesis. Um, Both are methods of creating energy within cells. Um, Cellular respiration characteristics. What is it? It is the major purpose the major purpose of cellular respiration is to make ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, and it's the cell's major form of energy. Here you can see the chemical equation is more or less glucose plus oxygen yields carbon dioxide plus water plus ATP. Um, This happens within plant and animal cells in their mitochondria. How does it happen? The process breaks down glucose into energy for cells to use to do their jobs within the body. This means that it is catabolic. Kata means down in the Greek base of that word. Bolic means to throw up. Ana means up, and meta means changed or altered. So that helps you to break down the words catabolic, anabolic, and metabolic. An autotroph is an animal cell that cannot make glucose unless it eats it from another source, usually from a plant source, or possibly from another animal source as well. Only plant cells that do photosynthesis can make their own glucose. So any cell that can't do photosynthesis, it can't just make its own glucose from the sun. So for an autotroph to make more glucose, since they can't do it from the sun, they have to start with one glucose molecule, and then they need to do a process called glycolysis. And through that process, they can make enough ATP to make it through the cellular respiration process, which makes more ATP that they can store for future use. Characteristics of photosynthesis are it is the process of creating or synthesizing sunlight into glucose as a food source or energy source for a plant. That means it is anabolic because it's building up glucose instead of breaking it down. The chemical equation for that is carbon dioxide plus water and light yields glucose and oxygen as the output. This process happens in plant cells, protist cells, and bacteria cells. And within the cell, it is happening in the chloroplast, which is one of the organelles within the main cell. So the process happens by sunlight being captured within the pigments of the cell. Carotene and chlorophyll are examples of pigments, and this happens within the chloroplast. There are light-dependent reactions that have to happen first, and then there's light-independent reactions that happen, which is called the Calvin cycle. The light-dependent reactions create ATP and NADPH, and the light-independent reactions take in carbon dioxide, and then all of those reactants are fixed and converted into glucose, which is the output. Here is a little chart that I found, and it shows a good visual of the dependency of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. They depend on each other. Photosynthesis creates glucose and oxygen by absorbing the light from the sun and converting it. So it's taking in carbon dioxide and light, and it's putting out oxygen and glucose. And then cellular respiration uses that glucose and oxygen, and it breaks it down into energy and and into carbon dioxide. So the cells take in glucose and oxygen, break it down, and then they output carbon dioxide, which the plants will then need again for more photosynthesis. Here are some of my references here, and I just want to thank you for listening. Please excuse how tired I am after finishing this assignment way past my bedtime tonight.